multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where?
Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. We are live on tour, everybody. We do have a lot to get to this evening. Yes, we do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 destinations for you all this evening. Young Miami has written a letter to the judge saying he is a good man, Savannah, and I guess Young Miami and Milagro Graham, shout out to Conscious TV, are sisters, because as long as he is a good father, it doesn't matter what he does to the baby mama. Screw the baby mama from Milagro Graham's point of view, and from Young Miami's point of view, this makes them sisters at this point. As long as he is a good man, screw the pain, suffering, and turmoil for every other woman. Also, Diddy, you wanted a retrial because of the word prostitution and how they used it. You wanted them to use the 1910 version, not the 2025 version. Wait till you hear what type of sentence he's asking for. Universal's Epic Universe, some huge updates on that we are going to get to. P&G is sponsoring some HBCU classics. Very good there. There's a Black-owned camp called Camp Yoshi. Yes, indeed. We'll talk about that. The media industry rather, has been spending a lot of money on content. How much, we'll get to that. The Autism announcement that was not an announcement, it was just a tragic mediocrity and really a waste of space. We'll get to that. Plus, Tylenol did respond. And then, of course, Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air tonight. But before we get to all that, we do have some news that happened today that we got to address from the top of the show. Higher is waiting. Low is available. But either way, we are live on tour. Yes, indeed. Let me take down that iconic intro there. You see that virtual tour background. Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music. Yes, you do. And then there is me, everybody. Hey, welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. I hope all is well with each and every single one of you. Let's get to this because this is huge. 47's would-be assassin tries to stab himself after verdict is read as Dar screams out. Need to know Ryan Roof attempted to assassinate then presidential candidate 47 at his golf course in Florida last year. Roof has pleaded not guilty to the multiple charges he faced and defended himself. The jury deliberated for 2 hours before returning with the guilty verdict. A man accused of trying to assassinate President 47 last year at his golf course tried to stab himself in the neck. Trigger warning for everybody there. So sorry there. On Tuesday, September 23rd, today, after a jury found him guilty, according to the Associated Press. Jurors found Ryan Roof guilty on all counts in the September 15, 2024 assassination attempt, during which 47 was unharmed. 47 was a presidential candidate at the time. After the jurors exited the courtroom, Roof attempted to stab himself in the neck with a pen, prompting marshals to drag him out of the courthouse, according to the Associated Press. The outlet reported his daughter, Sarah Roof, screamed, "Dad, I love you. Don't do anything. I'll get you out. He didn't hurt anybody." Roof was convicted of attempting to assassinate a major presidential candidate, possessing a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence, assaulting a federal officer, possessing a firearm and ammunition as a convicted felon, and possessing a firearm with obliterated serial number. He pled not guilty to all charges. He represented himself in court. Roof 59 did not testify at his trial. In his closing argument, he told jurors that he did not intend rather to ill anyone that day. He rested his case Monday morning after questioning just 3 witnesses, a firearms expert, and 2 character witnesses, according to the Associated Press. So that happened today. As you all know, we address what is happening right at the top of the show. So now that we have done that, let's get to the news of the day here. Yes, indeed. Here. Sorry, y'all. All right, here we go, everybody. So this came out today. Shout out to the Shade of Miami, taking care of the sick for day ahead of his sentencing. Judge, that's a good man. Now, I'm just going to say this. Do y'all remember when she did that so-called interview with Saucy Santana on Carisha Please? And I said that was a grocery store trip interview with a stop at Quick Trip on the way home type of energy of an interview that was. And she said that she wasn't around it, this, that, and the third. But yet you're writing a character witness statement, though? Okay. Holy. Okay, let's read this. Let me zoom in here. Dear Your Honor, my name is Carisha Brown Lee. I'm a mother, daughter, sister, and a hip-hop artist who has spent many years in the public eye. I want to be clear, I cannot speak on or defend anything that has happened before I met Sean Combs. I do not condone any wrongdoing, but you're writing this letter, so what the fuck? I can only speak from my personal experience and the man I've come to know over the past 4 years. For 3 of those years, I was in a public relationship with Sean. During that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one often portrayed. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive, and always encouraging. He motivated me, believed in me, and helped me grow both professionally and personally. I'm writing this letter because I believe it's important for the court to know the side of Sean that isn't always seen or spoken about. The man who poured into others, who gave opportunities, who led by example, and who loved deeply. He helped shape me, both professionally and personally. He believed in me, pushed me to grow, and taught me how to be a better businesswoman. He helped me find balance between chasing my dreams and being present for my family, because that's what he did. No matter how busy he was, he never missed holidays or special moments with his family. One of my most meaningful memories was when he took me to my first Met Gala. It wasn't just about the event, it was about what it represented. Sean has always made a priority to open doors for Black people, to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces we have been historically excluded. That night reminded me that we belong in every room, at every table, every conversation. He constantly encouraged me and so many others to dream bigger, walk in confidence, and never shrink who we are to make others comfortable. He also gave me a voice by providing me a platform on his network to speak for the culture and connect with people in a way that was real and authentic. The opportunity changed the direction of my career and showed me the impact one person can have when they choose to uplift others. Beyond all that, I've seen him give back to his community over and over again. In 2022, we fed the homeless together on Thanksgiving, but that's just one example. Sorry there, y'all. There were so many moments where he gave quietly, privately, without cameras, because his heart genuinely wanted to help. I've also witnessed him doing real inner work. He made the choice to check himself into anger management, start therapy, commit to physical healing through therapy. That takes strength, humility, and self-awareness. He didn't do it for show. He did because he wanted to grow and become a better person. In my personal experience, Sean is not a danger or a threat to the community. He's a man of God, so who uplifts, supports, and inspires those around him to be better mentally, physically, and spiritually. But more than anything, he's a father, and his kids are the ones who look up to him the most. They need him. His presence, love, and guidance matter deeply in their lives. I truly believe that he belongs at home with his family, the people who mean the most to him, and continue to be his greatest source of purpose and strength. Judge, that's a good man. Thank you, Carisha Brownlee. Bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? And child, she's a damn mother. You know, I swear to God, some of y'all men make fucked up decisions. Whoever laid down Carisha Brownlee, fuck you. Fuck you and fuck your existence. The kids, we pray for them to be healthy and stronger than her whole existence. Are you crazy? So you don't condone what he did, but yet you write this letter. Judge, that's a good man. A good man doesn't do a fifth quarter or a half of the things that he did. That's why I said Carisha Brownlee and Milagro Grams are sisters. As long as he is a good man, forget all the pain, suffering, and torment everybody went through. So Carisha Brownlee is for domestic violence. She's for women getting raped. She's for women getting drugged. She's for women having their hair grabbed, and them having their head busted and welts on them. God forbid that if any of this happened to Carisha Brownlee's daughter, God forbid, and not wishing that either. What the fuck is this shit? And did you go after Gina Huya, who did not show up to the trial, that apparently you forced her to have an AB? The fuck wrong with you? And then you gonna use us? Sean has always made a priority to open doors for Black people, to make sure we're seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we've been historically excluded. That night reminded me we belong at every room, at every table, and every conversation. He constantly encouraged me and so many others to dream bigger, walk in confidence, and never shrink who we are to make others comfortable. Without MLK and many others in the civil rights movement, including the Little Rock Nine, for going to Central High School to defy the odds, you would not have the opportunity to be this fucking damn stupid. What's wrong with you, you heifer? Need to be taken out and slaughtered for the culture. Don't make no damn sense. I'm social slaughtered, everybody. Good damn. Don't make no damn sense. Are you kidding me? We fed the homeless together on Thanksgiving. What the fuck? Really? Really? So because he fed people on Thanksgiving, he's supposed to be forgiven for everything? No. I mean, my God. You might as well have Milagro Grams be your defense attorney. Because apparently the motherfucker wants a new trial. Did Milagro scams go for criminal justice, but yet she's a criminal in a case about her making the sound? Anyway, that's neither here nor there, child, but it is all the way there. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't condone any wrongdoing, but yet you're writing this letter and saying, Judge, that's a good man. He was found guilty. A good man is not guilty. I cannot. Let's read these comments. Unfortunately, we all experience different versions of people. This was the shot she experienced, and there's nothing we can do to change her perception of who he was to her, whether we agree with her or not. He was still in the love bombing stage with her. Clearly, he visibly elevated her, and that's his perspective of him. This is the definition of having the same man, but not having the same experience with a man. When I saw Dear Your Honor, I stopped reading because what the fuck? 59,703 likes agreed. He's a man of God. Carisha, please. This is a chat GPT. Let them dashes sold it out. I can just hear her right. I'll never snitch on you, daddy. 43,587 likes now. He was good to her. She ain't lying. He was good to her. Remember, each person brings out different things in people. She only speaks from her experiences. So yeah, why she ain't say period at the end? He's not a good man, Savannah. We all experience people differently. This was her experience. I like to twist my angle to get to the comments. They didn't fail me. I just can't. I just cannot. Carisha Brownlee, you better hope your daughter doesn't go through any of this shit. And I'm not wishing it on her. I'm really not. But to write this shit, that says everything that you are. Like Milagro Scam said, as long as he is a good father, fuck the baby mama and the child. We don't like it when words come back up to haunt us, do we? We don't. No, we don't. We don't. Milagro Scams and Carisha Brownlee, Young Miami, are sisters in being pick-me's. My man. But God forbid one of y'all dogs go through any of this shit. Y'all would probably stand for all of it. And y'all ain't gonna do shit. If what I'm saying ain't true, don't respond to me. But if you do respond to me, it must be true about y'all bitch asses to some damn degree. Don't make no damn sense. And what you gonna do when if he gets convicted on October 3rd for 20 years? You gonna still say he's a good man after all that shit? Okay, John. Okay. All right, let's roll on to Complex because they covered it too. Shout out to the Shade Room for getting that exclusive copy though. Young Miami calls Diddy loving, genuine, supportive, and letter to judge ahead of mogul sentencing. In a character letter to your judge, R. ahead Diddy sentencing, Young Miami said the Bad Boy Records founder is not a danger or threat to the community. The letter opens with Miami-born Carisha Brownlee know that she cannot speak on or defend anything that may have happened prior to her meeting. Sean Combs said her comments, joined by several other character letters in newly filed court documents viewed by Complex, are penned from the perspective of having known Diddy for 4 years. For 3 of those years, I was in a public relationship with Sean. During that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one often portrayed. Miami wrote in the letter filed Monday, September 22nd. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive, and always encouraging. He motivated me, believed in me, and helped me grow both personally and professionally. Miami willing to credit Diddy having helped shape her on both a professional and personal level, ultimately inspired her to find balance between chasing my dreams, being impressed with my family. She also mentioned Diddy taking her to her first ever Met Gala, emphasizing the evening as particularly impactful for her because of what it represented. Elsewhere, the Can't Quit Me R's referenced Diddy's decision to pursue anger management and therapy, arguing that he belongs at home with his family. She closed out the letter by calling Diddy a good man. In July, Diddy was not found guilty on racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking charges, and he was, however, convicted on 2 prostitution-related counts. As previously reported, Diddy's legal team has argued that a sentence of 14 months at most is appropriate. Oh, we're going to get to that here in a minute. The Bad Boys Records founder is set to be sentenced in October. Read Young Miami's full letter to the judge below. I'll read it one more time just because it's part of this article. Dear Your Honor, my name is Carisha Horley. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm so sorry. I mean, she is a whore just to exist. Because if you will accept a man who did all this shit, you are a whore for anything. So Carisha Horley, I am a mother, daughter, sister, and hip-hop artist who has spent many years in the public eye. I want to be clear that I cannot speak on or defend anything that may have happened before I met Sean Combs. I do not condone any wrongdoing, but yet you write this fucking letter. I can only speak from my personal experience. The man I've come to know over the past 4 years. During 3 of those years, I was in a public relationship with Sean, and during that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one often portrayed. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive, and always encouraging. He motivated me, believed in me, and helped me grow both personally and professionally. I'm writing this letter because I believe it's important for the court to know the side of Sean that isn't always seen or spoken about. The man who poured into others, who gave opportunities, who led by example, who loved deeply. He helped shape me both professionally and personally. He believed in me and pushed me to grow, and taught me how to be a better businesswoman. He helped me find balance between chasing my dreams and being present for my family, because that's what he did. No matter how busy he was, he never missed holidays, special moments with his family. One of my most meaningful memories was when he took me to my first Met Gala. It wasn't just about the event, it was about what it represents. Sean has always made it a priority to open up doors for Black people, to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we've been historically excluded. That night reminded me that we belong at every room, at every table, and every conversation. He's constantly encouraged me and so many others to dream bigger, walk in confidence, and never shrink who we are to make others comfortable. He also gave me a voice by providing me a platform on his network to speak to the culture and connect with people in a way that was real and authentic. That opportunity changed the direction of my career and showed me the impact one person can have when they choose to uplift others. Beyond all that, I've seen him give back to his community over and over again. In 2022, we fed the homeless again on Thanksgiving, but that was just one example. There were so many moments where he gave quietly, privately, without cameras, because his heart genuinely wanted to help. I've also witnessed him doing real inner work. He made the choice to check himself into anger management, start to commit to physical healing through therapy that takes strength, humility, and self-awareness. He didn't do it for show. He did because he wanted to grow, become a better person. In my experience, Sean is not a danger or a threat to the community. He's a man of God, someone who uplifts, supports, and inspires those around him to become better mentally, physically, and spiritually. But more than anything, he's a father, and his kids are the ones who look up to him the most. They need him. His presence, love, and guidance matter deeply in their lives. I truly believe that he belongs at home with his family, the people who mean the most to him, and continue to be his greatest source of purpose and strength. Judge, that's a good man. Thank you, Carisha Horley. Okay? All right, let's roll on. Because that's all I got. That's all I got. I ain't got nothing else for y'all. Now, this came out of Rolling Stone here, and I got the article before, it hemmed me up right here. So here we go with Rolling Stone. Sean Combs, 14 months sentence, cites serious substance abuse issues. The disgraced music mogul filed his lengthy brief ahead of his sentencing set for October 3rd. Let me get that up for you all. I'm not sorry for anything that I said. I'm really not. Like you write that after all of this? That makes the interview that you did with Saucy Santana just shit. Child, let's roll on. So here it is here. Sean Combs seeks 14-month sentence, cites serious substance abuse issues. The disgraced music mogul filed his lengthy brief Monday ahead of his sentencing for October 3rd. Right here, Sean Combs made a plea for fairness. I know, let me zoom in here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Sean Combs made a plea for fairness ahead of his October 3rd sentencing, arguing in a new brief that he deserves no more than 14 months in prison for his 2 felony convictions for transportation to engage in prostitution. In the 182-page sentencing memo, you had to have 182 pages to defend yourself. Oh, Lord, you are so far gone. Submitted Monday shortly before the midnight deadline. Combs' lawyers laid out his life story and apparent bid for mercy, saying Combs struggled as a child after his father was murdered when he was only 3 years old. You know who else probably has been, whose father was murdered? Other kids. And they didn't do a fifth core half of what you did. There's a whole superhero named Batman, Bruce Wayne. He took that and did something with it. The fuck? They argued the lost cause a profound form of trauma that's at the stage for issues Combs wrestled with during his admittedly violent relationships with the two ex-girlfriends involved in his convictions. For decades, Mr. Combs struggled with serious substance abuse issues, anger, and anxiety, and the fault he did not properly or professionally address until his incarceration last year. People make time and arrangements for what they want to care about, so obviously he never gave a fuck about his substance abuse issues and anger, anxiety, other flaws if they had to take this for him to give a fuck now. So miss me with that shit. Finally attained by Rolling Stone saying, like every ad, his behavior while on painkillers was erratic and unpredictable, and often the reason behind any assaults during assaults discussed at trial. Really? So painkillers make you mollywop a woman like that in that video? Really? That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, your two daughters had to walk out of your trial. God forbid somebody mollywop them like you mollywop Cassie. Not wishing that, by the way, at all. At all. Al, not wishing that at all. Not wishing that at all. But seriously, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? His lawyers also attached more than 75 letters of support from his family and friends, including Combs' mother, Janice, that should have swallowed him, his sister, Keisha, his 3 teen daughters, Chance, Jesse, and Delilah, and Dan Tran, the mother of Combs' 2-year-old daughter, Love. I'm not going to give smoke to the daughters nor Dan Tran. You know what I mean? They're supporting who they know, right? And, you know, we always protect children over here, so I'm not going to rag onto them too much. The reason why I got into Carisha Porley's ass, because she's a grown fucking woman. Okay? Okay. Combs, 55, was convicted of the 2 felony counts on July 2nd after a 9-week trial. Jurors rejected a trio of more serious charges, finding the prosecutors failed to prove Combs ran racketeering conspiracy or sex trafficked 2 former girlfriends. The acquittals meant Combs was no longer facing the possibility of life in prison. At the time, the mogul pumped his fist and dropped to his knees as he celebrated in the courtroom. Really not a surprising position for him to be in at all. The 2 prostitution charges, violations of century-old law known as the Mann Act, each carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years of federal prison for their part. Prosecutors previously estimated sentencing guidelines range around 4 to 5 years behind bars. Their formal recommendation could be much higher when they file their separate sentence briefing due September 29th. Combs, who has served a year in custody, argued against filing that a review of more than 60 other Manning Act cases determined that the average sentence was 14.9 months of incarceration. Combs and his lawyers claimed it was unlawful and perversion of justice if the court increases the sentence beyond 14 months based on the court's own findings about forced coercion or racketeering. Federal judges aren't required to follow guidelines. In the Southern District of New York, judges stick to the guideline ranges 3.45% of the time in the last fiscal year, according to the U.S. Sentencing Commission. U.S. District Judge Armstrong will have wide latitude at the October 3rd sentencing, and it's not clear how he'll rule. But on the day of the verdict, when many speculated that Combs' acquittal on top charges would lead to his immediate release on bail pending sentencing, Judge Marion took a hard line. He denied the release on the basis that Combs' defense admitted during the trial that Combs was violent and with his ex-partner Cassandra Ventura, and more recent, an ex-girlfriend testified on the pseudonym Jane. In his closing argument, lead defense lawyer Mark Anfanel, who also said, and I quote, because I gotta play this clip. I gotta play this clip. see here. Give me a moment.
Full of all kinds of shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. And when you've got never-ending options for every style, mood, occasion, and budget, you have unlimited freedom to play. And that's something to brag about. DSW, let us surprise you.
They call them freak-offs. But, you know, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. Attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way.
For an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way.
For an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know.
I'm just keeping it a buck. That's the attorney, right? That was the attorney who said that in a publicly available documentary, The United States versus P. Diddy, or The Downfall of Diddy, which is available on Tubi. He said that one bottle of baby oil goes a long way. And so when Diddy got sent back to jail because of the Mann Act, the defense lost their rabbit ass minds. And right here in his closing arguments, lead defense lawyer Mark Fanello explicitly told jurors that the defense wasn't challenging the women's claims of domestic violence. So Mark Fanello didn't challenge that. So good job on Smirian for using his words against him. In terms of owning, it's just a mad responsibility on the domestic violence. We owned it. It happened. You know, God forbid if Mark Fanello's daughter got DV'd in New York while the trial was going. God forbid that. Fanello told the panel in his final address on June 27th, if he was charged with DV, we wouldn't all be here having a trial because he would have pled guilty because he did that. Rejecting the defense bid for immediate bail on July 2nd. Smirian pointed to the disturbing video of Combs' 2016 assault of Ventura inside LA's now shuttered Aaron Continental Hotel before sending a seemingly stunned Combs back into custody, taking a serious time. Smirian also noted that the video wasn't the only violence acknowledged by the defense. He pointed to the days Ventura spent at the London Hotel in Los Angeles to recover after Combs allegedly stomped on her face in a vehicle. Obviously, there was some physical event. She had injuries. Okay, so she goes to the hotel as much as anyone else's. So what if somebody stumped your motherfucking face in, you white cracker? What if somebody stumped your face in? Or your daughter's face in? See, we gotta have a standard around here, because we don't, we have hell. Okay? Just to be so flagrantly disrespectful with a woman that went through domestic violence is sad, it's disgusting, and it's toxic behavior. It is. It is. It absolutely is. There's no way you can sit here and tell me that what happened with Mark Fanello and what he said was right. There's just no way. To say that about a whole nother person is crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy. And Fanello told jurors about the fight that landed Ventura at the London Hotel route. This type of violence, which happens behind closed doors in personal relationship, sparked by unpredictable bouts of anger, is impossible to police with conditions. The judge said July 2nd, turning to the June 2024 incident at Jane's house, where Pointer and Fanello Combs immediately kicked Jane, restrained her around the neck during a blowout fight. The judge called out the time, and he noted the incident came after Combs' homes were raided by federal authorities in March 2024, at a time when Combs should have known that he needed to stay clean. The mogul instead showed a disregard for the rule of law and the propensity for violence, the judge said. Combs had been held at Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, since his arrest last September, in a separate motion set for a hearing later this week. Combs is asking that his conviction be decided in a matter of law, or that he be retired on the prostitution charges alone. In his written opposition filed August 20th, federal prosecutors said Combs' motion should fail because there was ample evidence to support the jury's conviction. They said Combs transported Ventura Jane multiple male commercial sex workers to engage in threesomes, variously done. The defendant must deny every aspect of free cuts and transport. Activity of escorts and victims throughout freak-offs for his own sexual gratification, and he personally engaged in sexual activity during freak-offs. They wrote, while the defendant may wish to cabin his participation to mere voyeurism, he was in reality an active participant in the sexual activity. Prosecutors blasted Combs' claims that he was an amateur porn producer who should be protected by the First Amendment. Far from acting like an adult film producer or director, the defendant did not provide advance notice that he may film the sexual encounter, did not seek consent from the participants to be filmed, they wrote in their August 20th filing. In fact, multiple participants specifically did not want to be filmed. So, that is what Sean Combs is asking for. Let's roll on. Okay, now, I want to bring this to your attention. As you guys know, the horrible situation that happened at Universal Orlando Resort with Mr. Zavala passing away after riding Stardust Racers, which is the signature roller coaster for Celestial Park, signature ride rather for Celestial Park. So let me get this here. Because I do want to read this to y'all. Okay, there we go. Got that. Okay. And by the way, I think it was a group on Facebook that I got this from, so shout out to them, and we'll get to the letter here in a minute. From Deadline.com, Universal Orlando executive says roller coaster at Epic Universe functioned as intended prior to rider's death. Universal Orlando's president and chief operating officer Kim Irwin said an internal memo sent to staff of Universal Epic Universe in Orlando said that the park's Stardust Racers roller coaster ride system functioned as intended prior to a rider's death last week. In my 35 years with Universal, few moments have been as difficult as this one. Irwin says in the memo obtained by Deadline, park visitor Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, 32 of Kissimmee, Florida, died Wednesday, September 17th, from what the Orlando medical examiner has said were multiple blunt impact injuries during the ride. There we go. In the memo sent to staff over the weekend, Irwin said that the ride systems functioned as intended. Equipment was intact at the ride start throughout the duration of the ride. Upon the ride, vehicles returned to the station, and our team members followed procedures. She continued, the attraction remains closed as we continue to work through a comprehensive review process in cooperation with the ride manufacturer of record. Safety is and will always be at the forefront of everything we do. The dual launch 2-train coaster at Epic Universe, a $7 billion investment park, which opened in May, reaches a height of 133 feet and speeds at 62 miles per hour, according to the park's website. That ride is still closed down, as I know it. He should have never ran the ride in the first place, but if he was refused, he will cry discrimination. He can't win with idiots. Dubious. Coaster had issues before park opened. Everything has issues before parks open. That's when they are being built. So those are the three comments, and here is that internal memo here from Karen Irwin, president and CEO of Universal Orlando Resort, chief operating officer of Universal Orlando Resort. Dear team members, in my 35 years at Universal, few moments have been difficult as this one. As may know, Wednesday evening, a guest was unresponsive after riding Stardust Racers at Epic Universe was transported to the hospital and sadly passed away. Our hearts are with the guest's family and loved ones, and with all of you who have been impacted by this tragic loss. I want to express my deepest gratitude to you, our team members, for the resilience, compassion, and professionalism you have shown. I'm proud of the way you support one another and our guests while carrying out your responsibilities with care and excellence during an incredibly hard moment. Our internal findings today confirm that the ride systems functioned as intended. The equipment was intact at the ride start throughout the duration of the ride. Upon the ride vehicles returned to the station and our team members followed procedures. The attraction remains closed as we continue to work through a comprehensive review process in cooperation with the ride manufacturer of record. Safety is and will always be at the forefront of everything we do. In the days ahead, please be mindful that this is an ongoing investigation. I ask that you continue to support each other and remember emotional support resources are available to you both in person and virtually. Thank you for living our values and the commitment you bring to our guests and each other, especially in moments like this. Together, we will continue to move forward with compassion, care, professionalism, with care. Karen Irwin, President and Chief Operating Officer of Universal Orlando Resort. And it's never easy as a CEO of any company to have words after a tragic event, but shout out to Kim. And I sincerely send love, prayers, and light to the executive team, the Universal creative team that built Universal Epic Universe, because whenever you put your heart, soul, and equity into a project as big as that park, and something happens like this, the first thing you do is like, is it my fault? Did we not build this ride out? Did we not go over this? Did we not go over that? And so, like I said, when the story first came out, I spent like about 52 minutes on it. Two things are true. This is a horrible, sad, and tragic event that happened. But also, two, Universal Orlando Resort and Universal theme destinations and resorts should not be dragged from the event. No one should feel ashamed to go to Epic Universe after they spent their hard-earned money to have 7 days off from life. But above all else, give love, grace, and space to those team members. Because you got to think about it, Universal is an international destination. And I truly believe that those team members that day were just beside themselves, because they look at everybody that comes through as a family member, whether you're a family member for a day, or you're a family member for 7 days, or you're an annual pass holder in any shape, form, or fashion. They look at all of us as family. So please have some tact, have some care, have some consideration for this event here. Now, with that being said, there is more here from News 6 by Click Orlando. Manslaughter investigation kicks off over guess who died after riding Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. Sheriff's Office said investigation is to determine whether negligence was a factor. Now, I just read the letter, the internal memo or the internal letter that was made by Karen Irwin, the President and Chief Operating Officer at Universal Orlando Resort, who said that everything was functioning as it needed to be. Here we go. From Orlando, Florida, following the death of a guest who rode the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe last week, investigators now say they are looking into the case under the state's manslaughter statute. The incident happened on Wednesday when 32-year-old Kevin Zavala was found unconscious on the ride and taken to the hospital, where he was ultimately pronounced dead, deputies said. The medical examiner's office later revealed the cause of death as multiple blunt impact injuries. The manner of death is accident, or an accident, the medical examiner wrote. Now, he did have a pre-existing spinal injury before getting on the ride. We learned about that last week on Friday. But in an incident report obtained by Page 6 on Friday, reveals that Zavala had pre-existing spinal injury, though it's unclear whether that contributed to the accident. Photos on a GoFundMe page set up Reports of Val show him using a wheelchair. Despite that, Universal Orlando's safety guide show that Stardust Racers is not for guests with back, neck, or similar physical conditions. On Monday, Orange County deputies revealed that they are now investigating Salah's death under Florida's manslaughter statute. The statute outlines manslaughter under state law as follows: the illing of a human being by the act, procurement, or culpable negligence of another without lawful justification, according to the provisions of Chapter 776, and in cases in which such illing shall not be excusable by homicide, murder, or murder, according to the provisions of this chapter, is manslaughter felony of the second degree. News 6 reached out to the OCSO, which clarified details about the investigation, saying that it's a part of standard procedure. This is a death investigation in cases which appear at first glance to be accidental death, which this case does. Detectives must determine whether there is any negligence, whether criminal or non-criminal. A spokesperson for the OCSO said manslaughter is just the name of the catch-all statute covering deaths that are not natural, though their investigation detectives attempt to figure out if there is any culpable negligence or a crime that occurred. And to accomplish this, we must let detectives follow the evidence and conduct a full and thorough investigation. In addition, Attorney Ben Crump announced on Monday that he had been retained by Salah's family, who are now looking to the release of maintenance logs, special inspection records, and ride data and video footage. This tragic loss demands a thorough investigation, full transparency. He said, the man died after boarding a ride that should have been safe. We hold all responsible parties to account and fight to ensure that all media inquiries be directed to Ben Crump's law office. Regardless, the president, Ken Irwin of Universal Orlando Resort, wrote to employees that the roller coaster had functioned as intended prior to Salah's death, rather internal letter obtained by News 6 shows. In part, she said that internal findings confirmed the ride functioned as intended and the equipment remained intact throughout the ride. The attraction remains closed as we continue to work through a comprehensive review process in cooperation with the ride manufacturer record. Safety is and will always be the forefront of everything we do, she wrote. Fellow guest Marina Fernandez, who says she was one of the dueling racers at the same time as Salah, recounted what happened to page 6. When I was on the ride, the travel finishes, and one girl starts to say, help, help, help. Explain the girl screaming to understand what happened. When the ride came to a stop, security began to usher riders off the roller coaster. Fernandez added, she said that Salah appeared to be slumped over, bleeding, with his legs seemingly broken. I don't know if he was dead in that moment, but I think yes. The roller coaster towers approximately 133 feet, has been closed since the incident. As investigators pieced together what happened, park officials have kept the ride shut and indicated no timeline for reopening. While the investigation continues, the rest of the park appears to be operating as usual. Florida's largest theme parks are exempt from state safety inspections, unlike smaller venues and fairs. Instead, the largest theme parks like Walt Disney World and Universal conduct their own inspections and have their own protocols, but they must report to the state any injury or death. State records show that only 2 other health incidents connected with the ride since it first opened: a 63-year-old man who experienced dizziness and a 47-year-old woman who had a visual disturbance. Both of those roller coaster on separate days and had pre-existing conditions. The department's current findings align with those shared by Universal, monitoring the same tests and reviewing the same information. A spokesperson with the FDACS told News 6 the investigation is ongoing and additional information will be released as it becomes available. Now, for this to be a manslaughter case, I'm going to be real with y'all. I am not a lawyer, an attorney, this, that, and the third. Go to people who do that. I'm covering this from the social side. I sincerely believe that Kim Irwin, the president and chief operating officer of Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Creative, and those team members in the park should not be charged with manslaughter. I do not believe that should happen. I'm going to say that 2 more times. I believe that Kim Irwin, the president and chief operating officer of Universal Orlando Resort, the park, Universal Creative, the team members, right? And, the brand itself deserves to be charged with manslaughter. One more time for the one more time. I do not believe that Kim Irwin, president and chief operating officer of Universal Orlando Resort, Universal Creative, the team members, right? Universal Creative and the entity itself should be charged with manslaughter. Now, they say that this is standard procedure. He had a pre-existing spinal injury before riding the ride. And the warnings were there. That does not negate the fact that this was a sad, tragic, and horrible event. But also, too, that does not mean that you charge a theme park with manslaughter, because that means it was intentional. I do not believe Universal meant for this to be intentional. I just don't. And by the way, this is the first theme park that opened up in the United States of America in 25 years. Do you really think that they will want their park to be known for manslaughter? Fuck no. Now, there is more dynamic video that I need to show you here. This is from our man Capture the Magic here. So here we go.
What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and in the ongoing story about a guest that passed away at Epic Universe riding Stardust Racers, there's yet another wrinkle or two in this story, as now there is a manslaughter investigation kicking off over this incident, as well as the family of the victim has hired a very prominent civil rights attorney to basically, I guess, protect them during this investigation that is going on. So some other layers have been added to this. So we're going to read through this article from News 6 in Orlando and get some thoughts about it. They say manslaughter investigation kicks off over a guest who died after riding Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. Sheriff's office said investigation is to determine whether negligence was a factor. And for those that don't know, that are just getting caught up on this story, a guest passed away after riding Stardust Racers. As we first reported on September 18th, a tragic accident took place the night of September 17th involving a guest passing away shortly after riding Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. The guest, later identified as 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, had CPR performed on him inside the park, and shortly after he was taken off the attraction. Zavala was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead shortly after 10 p.m. An autopsy was performed, and Chief Medical Examiner Joshua Stefani, MD with Orange and Osceola counties, stated that the cause of death was multiple blunt impact injuries, which has caused a lot of speculation as to what happened on this ride, and we'll talk about it a little bit after this. But if you want even more details on what happened here, there are a couple of previous videos that you can check out. We're going into more details and some eyewitness accounts as well. It says, following the death of a guest who rode the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe last week, investigators now say they are looking into the case under the state's manslaughter statute. And they did say the manner of death is an accident. And it should be noted as well, Zavala was determined to have a pre-existing spinal injury before he rode this. So it's unclear whether that contributed to the accident, that's, I'm sure, part of the investigation going on here. It says, despite that, Universal Orlando Safety Guide shows that Stardust Racers is not for guests with back, neck, or similar physical conditions. And on Monday, Orange County deputies revealed that they are now investigating Zavala's death under Florida's manslaughter statute, which reads, the killing of a human being by the act, procurement, or culpable negligence of another without lawful justification, according to the provisions of Chapter 776, and in cases in which such killing shall not be excusable, homicide, or murder, according to the provisions of this chapter, is manslaughter a felony of the second degree. News 6 reached out to the OCSO, which also clarified details about the investigation, saying that it is part of a standard procedure. They said, quote, this is a death investigation in cases which appear at first glance to be accidental deaths, which this case does. Detectives must determine whether there is any negligence, whether criminal or non-criminal, a spokesperson for the OCSO said. Manslaughter is just the name of the catch-all statute covering deaths that are not natural. Through their investigation, detectives attempt to figure out if there is any culpable negligence or a crime that occurred. And to accomplish this, we must let detectives follow the evidence and conduct a full and thorough investigation. Now, another layer to this as well is that the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala has hired an attorney. They have hired attorney Ben Crump, and they announced on Monday that he has been retained by Zavala's family, who are now looking for the release of maintenance logs, inspection records, ride data, and video footage. Crump, who is also known for his involvement in civil rights and personal injury cases, is famous for representing the families of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. Crump also represented the family of 14-year-old Tyree Sampson, who passed away after riding an attraction at Icon Park in 2022. He said, quote, "This tragic loss demands a thorough investigation and full transparency," he said. "A man died after boarding a ride that should have been safe. We will hold all responsible parties to account and fight to ensure that all media inquiries be directed to Ben Crump's law office." Regardless, President Karen Irwin of Universal Orlando Resort wrote to employees that the roller coaster had functioned as intended prior to Zavala's death. And they said in that statement to team members, so this was to team members, not to necessarily like a public statement to the press or anything. This was to Universal Orlando team members. They said that our internal findings today confirm that the ride systems functioned as intended. Equipment was intact at the ride start throughout the duration of the ride. Upon the ride's vehicles returned to the station, and our team members followed procedures. The attraction remains closed as we continue to work through a comprehensive review process in cooperation with the ride manufacturer of record. Safety is and always will be at the forefront of everything we do. They did say while the investigation continues, the rest of the park appears to be operating as usual. And it says Florida's largest theme parks are exempt from state safety inspections, unlike smaller venues and fairs. Instead, the largest theme parks like Disney World and Universal conduct their own inspections and have their own protocols, but they must report to the state any injury or death. And this is probably the kind of where this is going in this statement here. It says the department's current findings align with those shared by Universal after monitoring the same test and reviewing the same information. A spokesperson for the FDACS told News 6. The investigation is ongoing and any additional information will be released as it becomes available. So obviously there are some wrinkles that are showing up in here. Now, I don't think it being, obviously reading through this, the fact that it is now a manslaughter investigation doesn't really change any of the details here.
Correct.
As the investigators even said in that statement that they agree with what Universal said from what they have seen and going through footage and testing, that the ride functioned as it was supposed to. And when it comes to the family hiring, this attorney, I can see from the perspective of you have Universal investigators, you have the state investigating and just wanting somebody that is going to be looking out for your interest here. Yeah. I can understand that from a grieving family, and I'm not going to read into anything. I think a lot of people will read into that, which, who knows if that's the case, but, you have a grieving family that, is just wanting to find answers here about what happened. I mean, if something did happen here where Universal is at fault, that definitely is something that would need to be discovered and disclosed, and everybody I think would want to know that. But I will say this, obviously more than likely is going to end up either going to court or end up in some sort of settlement, if I were to guess, after all of.
Now, I will have to agree with Capture the Magic here. The fact that they retained a lawyer, of course you want to find out answers like Capture the Magic said. That's all I see this as. I don't think that the family wants to take Universal for everything they got. I just don't see it going that far with this case. And like Capture the Magic said, and like I read from that article from News 6, it seems like even the state is agreeing with Universal Orlando. So for that to be happening there, it seems like that's where the case is going to end, but it's far from over. So just wanted to feature Capture the Magic there. Then we have one more video here, and then we're going to move on here to some HBCU news, because y'all, HBCUs matter, and we're going to show some love here in just a minute. So here is this news from Fox 35 Orlando.
Breaking news.
We begin with breaking news. The family of the man who died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe has hired an attorney. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. It is well-known civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. And we have live team coverage for you today. Fox 35's Matt Trezza is at Epic Universe, where the president of the resort.
Let me refresh because I want y'all to see it clearly. My bad.
The rare find.
Sometimes
there's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Ridge dropped.
Breaking news.
We begin with breaking news. The family of the man who died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe has hired an attorney. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. It is well-known civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. And we have live team coverage for you today. Fox 35's Matt Trezza is at Epic Universe, where the president of the resort claims there was nothing wrong with the ride. But we begin with Manny Martinez. So Manny, Crump is no stranger to theme park cases.
He is not, John. His office represented the father of Tyree Sampson Jackson, the teen who died on the Orlando freefall in 2022. Crump's office says the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala is seeking full transparency, including the release of maintenance logs, inspection records, ride data, and video. All of that to understand the circumstances of Rodriguez Zavala's death. Crump's office sent us a statement saying this tragic loss demands a thorough investigation and full transparency, adding, a man died after boarding a ride that should have been safe, finishing with, we will hold all responsible parties to account and fight to ensure Kevin's family receives the answers and justice they deserve. Now, we have asked Crump's office for an interview tonight. We're waiting on a response. We're also waiting to hear back from Universal on this latest news. Live in studio, Manny Martinez, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Manny. And state investigators report that the roller coaster was working as it was supposed to when that death happened.
Fox 35's Matt Trezza continues our live team coverage now from Epic Universe. So, Matt, ride experts say this coaster is safe.
Yeah, that's right. The expert I spoke with says all the designers and the operators did everything by the book as far as he could tell, and he says he's waiting, like everybody else, to find out exactly what went wrong. Investigators are working to understand what happened on the Stardust Racers roller coaster that led to Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's death. A letter to workers from Park President Karen Irwin included these words, quote, our internal findings to date confirm that the ride systems functioned as intended. Equipment was intact at the ride's start, throughout the duration of the ride, and upon the ride vehicles returned to the station, and our team members followed procedures. Nathan McDonald is a licensed professional engineer and certified safety professional with more than 12 years experience in thrill ride consulting. He's not involved in this ride, but he says the ride fulfills all the proper safety parameters.
Length of track is on the longer side. G-forces that it experiences are well within limits for engineering standards that are applicable. The heights and the drops they're not unusual. The speeds are they're not excessive. They're actually fairly moderate. It's just over 60 miles per hour. It's not bad.
Stardust Racers is a dual launch coaster, which means two separate cars launch on separate tracks at the same time. The cars race across 5,000 feet of track, reaching heights up to 133 feet and speeds up to 62 miles per hour.
There are roller coasters that go over 100 miles an hour. And they can experience G-forces above and beyond. That's my understanding from this Stardust roller coaster. It's about 4 Gs of acceleration. That's, like I said, well within acceleration limits that are specified by ASTM standards.
The medical examiner states that Zavala's death was accidental due to blunt impact injuries. McDonald says a key question is how that happened.
Is it from an object that made it through the security measures that was dropped by another patron? Did it come from a piece of the ride that fell off? Did it come from somewhere?
Now, there was a report that a piece of metal was sticking up out the seat. Or, hang on. It was a piece of metal, but I think it was probably the back of the seat, but that did come out last week. So just want to add that for context, conjecture, and connection there.
It remains to be seen, and I would be very interested to see what is found as the investigation goes on.
The state agriculture commissioner oversees theme park rides. The office sent us this statement about the investigation. Quote, the department's current findings align with those shared by Universal after monitoring the same tests and reviewing the same information. The investigation is ongoing, and additional information will be released as it becomes available. And at this time, Stardust Racers remains closed. We're live in Orange County. Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Thank you so much, Fox 35 Orlando, for that. All right, y'all. More Brainley's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here, right now from blacknews.com. HBCU Go announces Procter & Gamble 2025 football partnership celebrating HBCU classics nationwide. So you have the Southern Heritage Classic presented by P&G. You have the Truth and Service Classic, and then you have the P&G Las Vegas HBCU Classic there. The Allen Group free streaming digital sports platform HBCU Go, the leading media provider for the nation's 107 historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, is pleased to announce a new partnership with Procter & Gamble P&G as the presenting sponsor of select 2025 HBCU football classics. This season, P&G will extend its HBCU program by serving as a title sponsor for multiple marquee HBCU classic matchups, uniting fans, students, and alumni around the tradition and culture of black college football. The partnership includes on-site activations at select games, ranging from an experimental branded space to street teams offering product sampling, creating opportunities for fans to connect directly with trusted P&G brands like Tide, Crest, Gillette, and Secret. In addition to its sponsorship of the Classics, P&G will join HBCU Go as a season-long partner. This collaboration will extend across the full HBCU Go football schedule with integrated support and live broadcasts, digital programming, and social media content. P&G brand ambassadors and creators will also engage fans on social media throughout the season, helping bring the spirit of HBCU football to a national audience. I wonder if the Beyond the Gates cast will be a part of this, because as you guys know, Beyond the Gates is produced by P&G Studios as well. So, yes, indeed, they just want to add that in for good measure. P&G is committed to meeting the diverse needs of all consumers. P&G's HBCU program brings experiences and products to events like back to school, homecomings, and football classics, said Leila Coffey, Vice President, Multicultural Business Acceleration at Procter & Gamble. Together with Allen Media Group's HBCU Go, we are able to authentically connect and support Black consumers in everyday life, and with P&G's superior products at relevant cultural moments. Our partnership with P&G demonstrates the growing commitment of world-class companies to support HBCUs in the communities they represent, said Byron Allen, founder, chairman, CEO of Allen Media Group, the parent company of HBCU Go. Together, we will elevate the HBCU football experience for fans everywhere while honoring the rich history and cultural significance of these classics. All HBCU classics will broadcast live on Amazon Prime Video, expand the reach of these games to millions of households nationwide. The addition of Amazon Prime Video builds on HBCU Go's already large global footprint, partnerships with major streaming platforms, and coast-to-coast network of local station affiliates. So, the 2025 P&G HBCU Classic schedule, the P&G Truth and Service Classic, Hampton University versus Howard University, September 20th, 4 p.m. Washington, D.C., Audi Field, which that has already happened there. This classic is coming up here. Southern Heritage Classic, P&G Alcorn State University versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff whoop Alcorn State's ass. None but love to y'all. September 27th, 2025, 7 p.m. Eastern, Memphis, Tennessee, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And I'm sure Alcorn State has that same energy, okay? So don't at me, okay? Listen, the fact that this is going to be broadcasted on Amazon Prime Video is amazing. So blessings to the Southern Heritage Classic. But I am pulling from the mighty Golden Lions, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. That's the team I'm rooting for, okay? And then, of course, the P&G Las Vegas HBCU Classic, Jackson State University versus Grambling State University, October 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Eastern, Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. Oh, they're playing at the big stadium. Very, very well done there. In addition to these three marquee classics, the 2025 HBCU Go football season will showcase a number of other noble matchups, offering fans nationwide the opportunity to experience the energy and tradition of HBCU football. Right here about HBCU Go. HBCU Go is a cultural lifestyle destination and leading sports media provider that embraces and represents the voice of Black excellence every day of the year through an all-new platform that captures the rich history, diversity, perspectives, and cultural experiences at historical Black colleges and universities. HBCU Go also provides a platform for emerging creatives in media production, branding, and broadcasting. We offer our viewers the best in live sports, original series, documentaries, film, comedy, and edutainment program produced by African-American leading producers, directors, and students from select HBCUs. Launched in 2012, the free streaming service HBCU Go was purchased by Byron Allen in 2021 and is a part of Allen Media Group, AMG, headquartered in Los Angeles, California. AMG has offices in New York and Atlanta. AMG owns and operates 28 ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox network affiliate broadcast stations in 21 markets and 10 24-hour HD networks, high-definition networks, nearly serving 300 million subscribers. The Weather Channel, Pets.tv, Comedy.tv, Recipe.tv, Cars.tv, STV, that's the Spanish network, everybody, My Destination.tv, JusticeCentral.tv, the Griot Television Network, and HBCU Go. Alameda Group also owns the digital streaming platforms HBCU Go, Sports.tv, the Griot, the Weather Channel streaming app, and Local Now, the free streaming advertising video on demand service, which delivers real-time, hyper-local news, weather, traffic, sports, and lifestyle information. For more information, visit www.allenmedia.tv. So congratulations on all those classics. Of course, if you want more information, Eric Potofsky, Executive Vice President of Talent and Public Relations, Group, Eric at es.tv, and Tasha Witten, Front Page Firm, OBOHBCU at Tasha at frontpagefilm.com. Of course, that is the legendary Whitney Houston there. So congratulations. I am excited for all of these classics. UAPB, whoop Alcorn State's ass, okay? I want y'all to win. Alcorn State, like, what did we do, Braylon? What did we do? What did we do? All this fair and love and football, damn it. Yes, indeed. By the way, can Love and Football be, the next movie? You already did Love and Basketball, so just keeping it above. All right, speaking of black excellence, here is this here from blackenterprise.com. Yoshi is the black-owned, shout out to the fans out there, is the black-owned out travel group where luxury meets the land. By HBCU graduates, Camp Yoshi is redefined the outdoor experience with its elevated trips to nowhere. Trips to nowhere are a specialty of Camp Yoshi. The black-owned outdoors group has a mission to not only diversify America's outdoors movement, but also provide elevated eco-adventures that communities. Founded in 2020 by HBCU as a sibling, Rashad and Ron Frazier, alongside Rashad's wife, Shaquita. The idea sparked during the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic as former New York-based chief with Affinity for Neighbors. Frazier's Southern upbringing inspired him to take his talents and community outside. I think the evolution of how I see Camp Yoshi's legacy is just how we want to show for our people. Frazier told Black Enterprise, how do we create something that's built for our communities at the same level of legacy, experience, and aspiration that a lot of our peers have had? We have access to. If you can have the right operator like us doing it, you'll find yourself as a first-time camper thriving, not just surviving. So this is some of the family here. That's probably Alan's wife there. From there, Camp Yoshi was born, taking the anxiety and hassle away for first-time and diverse campers. Frazier and his team set up home base before campers arrived at the unique campgrounds. However, they still follow the leave no trace principle upheld by outdoor advocates. The itinerary varies from trip to trip, ranging from true camping elements to more diverse accommodations. However, the heart of each experience remains. These eco-adventures allow campers to recharge and immerse themselves in the wanderlust of somewhere new. Some of these off-grid experiences are as thrilling as they are peaceful. One can take treks through the Mars-like atmosphere of Moab, Utah, or trail through the vast landscapes of Big Sky, Montana, and Bend, Oregon. By the way, shout out to Big Sky. That was a show on ABC. And look at this magnificent site. Oh my Lord. That's it. Is that in the U.S.? I think that's in the United States, y'all. That is absolutely incredible. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. I'm sorry. Listen. Where is that? Okay. Partnering with eco-focused brands such as Rivian and Snow Peak, Camp Yoshi is a standout as a Black-owned business, booming wellness industry. According to the Global Wellness Institute, wellness economy also reached a new $6.8 trillion. Let me say that number two more times. $6.8 trillion in 2024. This industry, while seeing tremendous growth, has leaned traditionally white in its businesses and patrons emphasizing the importance of wellness for all, especially those it has historically excluded, is essential to the Camp Yoshi difference. I think the space that we sit today and all the things that we're seeing happening around us in our country and our environment, I just really, really hope that as people come into the Camp Yoshi ecosystem, they can venture with us, they can meet others from different walks of life that don't look like them, and that we can sit down, foster conversation, we can walk away as friends, even when we don't disagree. Sheriff Shaquita, Black people in the camp community are growing, but still amount to a tiny fraction of those venturing outside. Campgrounds of America, KOA or COA, says Black members are accounted for 11% of those who camped in 2024. While Camp Yoshi provides a more luxurious outdoors experience, it still does its part to change the narrative surrounding who belongs in nature. Keep in mind too, we're not monolith. Added Frazier, we're not locked in on just camping. Obviously, our trips can incorporate a hotel if you need to, but the ecological wonder, discovery, fellowship, community that comes with our trips, I think that can show up anywhere, whether camping or in the Four Seasons. Another Camp Yoshi difference lies in its taste for inspired eats. The outdoors does not stop. Frazier from name meals you tried in fine dining establishments inspired by their dozens of eco adventures. Frazier has developed a cookbook, aptly titled Cookout, for a 2026 release. Okay, we love new stuff around here. This recipe is encouraged by our cooking and eating, allowing people to share a meal under the stars. I think since we have a specific focus on new users in the outdoor space, the food can help elevate turns. Trips are meant to kind of help bring strangers together quickly. For the solo travelers, nothing disarms a person like a good meal with a group of people, emphasize Frazier. Shaquita add culinary perspective of everything is centered around Rashad and his background and experiences, but we all know that food is the cornerstone of building community. And at the onset of Camp Yoshi, the whole premise was to get people outside and understanding how healing nature can be. And look at that Black squad right there. You got some white people in there too. All right, see y'all there. Camp Yoshi can take the trips even further with day trips and week-long expeditions, fitting wide price points crossing oceans to destinations like Puerto Rico and Japan. Konnichiwa. Hi. Also now on their horizon with 35 trips annually, Camp Yoshi has already sold out its 2025 season. Come on. I'm here for it. It expects to drop new excursions for the upcoming year this fall, with new and returning campers excited to take on the wild beauty again. That is so amazing. Here is Camp Yoshi right here, y'all. Of course, right here, Black Enterprise right there, and beautiful curated Instagram there. So I am so here for it. I want to know where Camp Yoshi came from. Like, you know, was that really just a Nintendo reference, and then you guys just took it from there? But this is just breathtaking. All of this. So let me get the link tree up so y'all can see the website, because y'all know we are about promoting Black businesses around here for sure. I am loving this. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Yes, indeed. Trips to nowhere. So here it is. Here, Camp Yoshi. Trips to nowhere. You show up, we show out. I love it. I love it. I love it. So here it is here, Portland, Oregon to Mount Hood, $800. Bend, Oregon to Crater Lake, $800. Canyon County, Utah, level 1, $1,025. Those are some actual good trips. Sincerely, like, that's not bad at all. Like, if I had the money, I would definitely take one of those trips. Are you kidding? Absolutely. Trying to show y'all here. Let's see. So right here, you have pop-up dinner, hike Dog Mountain, rafting to Chutes River, hike Mount Rainier, intro surfing, pop-up dinner there. Then you have trips to nowhere. You have Oregon High Desert Edition, August 2nd for the 5th. Singles trip to nowhere, come through. Yes, I would definitely do this. Are you kidding? June 20th through the 22nd, singles trips to nowhere, volume 1. Then July 18th through the 20th, singles trips to nowhere, volume 2. September 28th September 18th right through the 21st, solo traveler trip to nowhere, Moab, Utah edition. Then July 10th through the 13th, no signal, just vibes, and then a private group trip there, and then expeditions all included. So the field trips are day trips. So you got Montana, Morocco, Puerto Rico, Namibia, and Japan. Y'all, I'm gonna drop the link for this, okay, in the chatterization. If you are looking for travel, definitely contact Camp Yoshi for sure. They are throwing it down. Do you hear me? Yes, indeed, they are. That's absolutely incredible. And honestly, tell you the truth, I wish the Travel Channel would not be so much about ghost stories anymore, because imagine a Camp Yoshi series on the Travel Channel. That would be incredible. All these travel content creators, the Travel Channel needs to step the game up. Sincerely, okay? Now, I know there's some people that watch ghost stories and everything else, but we need content, okay? So speaking of content, yes, indeed. Here, let me pull this story up. Let me do this here. Making good time, by the way, everybody. Making very good time. Yes, indeed. Here, want to pull this up. And don't worry, we're gonna talk about autism. Don't. Oh no, we're gonna get to that for sure. Here is this story here from Variety.com. Big media company spent $210 billion on content 2024. $210 billion, okay? In 2024, led by Comcast, YouTube, and Disney. The industry's 12 biggest media entertainment companies set another new content spending record 2024, paying out around $210 billion, up 4% on the year, according to analysts by KPMG. Comcast, NBC, Universal held the number one spot on KPMG's ranking of 2024 content spending among the biggest players, with an outlay of $37 billion, flat with 23. That's followed by YouTube with $32 billion. Even though Neil McCollum said they don't know how to choose originals, and Pedro Pena, who is the president of Europe, Middle East, and Africa, said there's no appetite for originals, and long-form content is trending more and more on YouTube. And of course, you know, Studio Lambert is in the early stages of producing content for YouTube. And also, too, they streamed the first NFL game on YouTube as well. So it's just one thing after another where YouTube Studios is going to have to happen. Okay, just keep it in a buck there. Disney at $28 billion, Amazon at $20 billion, and Netflix $17 billion. From 2020 to 2024, KPMG estimates that content spending among the cohort has climbed at a 10% compound annual growth, CAGR, fueled by traditional media companies investing in their own direct-to-consumer streaming services like Disney Plus, NBC, Universal's Peacock, Warner Bros. Discovery's HBO Max, and Paramount Plus. So here we go here. So Paramount, that's how much they have spent over time there. So 12 billion, 2020, 15 billion, 16, 15. Netflix, you see their numbers there. Amazon, you see their numbers there. Disney, you see their numbers there. YouTube right behind, and Comcast right here. So it looks like Comcast, YouTube, Disney, Amazon, Netflix, Paramount, and others. It's interesting because you would think Netflix, being the dominant platform, would be up here, but it looks like Comcast is still up here, even though they are spinning off their cable networks into Versant. And apparently NBC Universal might be going after Warner Bros. Discovery. But according to KPMG's analysis, the biz hasn't hit its content spending ceiling yet. While some argue that peak content has been reached, we believe the industry is far from saturation, although the reality is more nuanced. The firm says in the report, Money in Motion, the future content spend business models in media, released Tuesday, content spend is not growing uniformly across formats and genres. For example, investments in sports rights have continued to rise, while investment in other areas like scripted and reality programming have slowed. It's not just about more content. Now we're seeing more deliberate investments, says Scott Purdy, media strategy leader for KPMG US leaders are using their earnings from the past few years and increasing power of data or data-driven insights to prioritize their bets, shape creative decisions, and drive better returns. In particular, the shift toward user-generated content and ad-supported models and the ongoing growth of free ad-support streaming services such as Paramount's Pluto TV and Fox's are poised to drive further content expansion per the report. Mr. Beast is on Tubi. Need I say more? Mr. Beast is on Tubi. Mr. Beast is on Tubi. The growth of user-generated content has outpaced other segments and will likely see continued expansion fueled by increased ad dollars and a robust creator economy. KPMG report says. KPMG's report also addresses the evolving impact of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will make certain elements of the production process likely both faster and cheaper over time, and in the near term, AI will augment the production process rather than take it over, according to the firm. If you guys remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, at the end of the movie, Charlie's dad still had to come through and fix the machine, right? So yeah. AI is rewriting the content playbook: creation, personalization, distribution, monetization, said Frank Aberla, KPMG's U.S. sector leader. Media and telecommunications media leaders thoughtfully and strategically experimented with AI today are building tomorrow's competitive advantage. For the report, KPMG compiled data from primary and secondary sources between April and August 2025. The firm's content spending estimates are based on a select group of largely publicly traded media companies with financial data spanning from 2020 to 2024. Copy of the report is available at this link here. So there you go there. I'll put this link in my bio. All right, let's get to this autism because y'all, I'm going to read this just to let y'all know, but this is all bullshit, okay? With RFK Jr. behind him, Voice 7 pushes unproven link between Tylenol and autism. ACE tamoxifen has been used in decades in Tylenol and many other over-the-counter medications as a pain and fever reliever during pregnancy. President Voice 7 endorsed unsubstantiated claims about a link between Tylenol and autism. Monday made a variety of outlandish claims about childhood vaccinations, perhaps his most empathetic support to date. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s agenda at White House briefing. 47 announced his administration issued a warning to doctors to not recommend ACE tamoxifen, the active ingredient Tylenol, other widely used medications for pregnant women, claiming it may be linked to autism in children. I want to say it like this: don't take Tylenol, don't take it. He said fight like hell not to take it. 47 has been teasing the announcement for days as Kennedy and other health officials have pledged to determine the cause of the developmental disorder by September. Researchers who have spent decades researching the potential cause of autism says the administration has uncovered new evidence that says the existing data or data doesn't support its claims. This is not new. Dr. Allison Bryant, a high-risk obstetrician at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, said in an earlier interview, it has bubbled up every now and again with studies that shows maybe some kind of association, but not clearly showing any cause of effect. 47 also said the Food and Drug Administration moved to approve a chemotherapy drug called levetiracetam as a treatment to alleviate symptoms of autism based on limited evidence that works in a small number of children. Limited evidence, which means this has not been fully fleshed out. Child, so right here on Monday, 47 said multiple times that women and babies should tough it out without Tylenol because of the alleged autism risks, claiming there was no downside doing so. ACE tamoxifen is often recommended for pregnant women experiencing high fever since untreated fever can pose health risks to both the mother and the baby. Kennedy said Monday the FDA will issue a letter advising healthcare providers that ibuprofen should only be used during pregnancy only in cases of high fever, even when the fever may pose a health risk itself. Later, Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, a gastroenterologist who has pushed Kennedy to follow the science on vaccine, called on his HHS to release data that supports its claim about Tylenol autism, add to the preponderance of evidence that shows that this is not the case. Child, listen. White House Press Secretary Karoline Levitt said in a statement that there's mounting evidence finding a connection between ibuprofen used during pregnancy and autism. The 47 administration does not believe that popping more pills is the answer for better health. That's because the administration is not a doctor. Doesn't have any doctors. She added President 47 pledges to address America's skyrocketing rates of autism. Why? The people who have autism are fine. Y'all are scared of anybody at this point. Y'all like thirsty toxicity over there. She don't like people with autism. She like people with disability. She don't like anybody unless they swallow her demented words that are coming out of her mouth. The fuck? Child, I cannot. But Child said Monday that the NIH will dedicate $50 million to 13 research projects focused on identifying root causes and treatments for autism, an effort known as the Autism Science Data Initiative. The research will focus on environmental and medical factors, nutrition, events during pregnancy, biology, and genetics, he said. Child, like I said, right here, levocosin is approved by the FDA to counteract the side effects of certain chemotherapy drugs and is sometimes used off-label to treat vitamin B9 deficiency. It's a form of folic acid, a B vitamin that has shown promising clinical trials with helping some children with autism improving their speech. The Autism Science Foundation, which funds evidence-based autism research, doesn't recommend it as a treatment, yet says more studies are needed. No new evidence linking Tylenol to autism. Experts say autism spectrum disorder, which is characterized by challenges in social and speech skills and repetitive behaviors, most likely stems from multiple factors rather than a single cause. It affects 1 in 31 children in the United States, according to CDC. Brian K. Lee, a professor at epidemiology at Drexel University of Philadelphia, says the science about root causes hasn't changed recently. I'm not sure what the administration is doing, but it looks like they're just going back and reviewing evidence. They're coming to a different conclusion that many scientists would. 40% to 65% of women use antiprofen at some point during pregnancy, according to a 2014 study published in the American Family Physician. Like I said, y'all, I'm just going to keep it a buck with y'all. Why would y'all listen to a president that has a heart condition where blood can't flow to his heart and his leg can be amputated at any time? And RFK Jr., his family has disowned him. Are you kidding me? World health officials counter 47's unproven claim of link between ibuprofen and autism. Authorities from Australia to Europe moved swiftly Tuesday to respond to the U.S. announcement and affirm the safety of the drug during pregnancy. Right here, available evidence has found no link between the use of paracetamol during pregnancy and autism. They have found no link between the use of paracetamol during pregnancy and autism, said the European Medicines Agency, EMA. Paracetamol is a widely used name for Tylenol in the United States. The EMA said will not be making changes to the region's current recommendations, maintaining that pregnant women should take the lowest effective dose of the drug for the shortest time possible and frequently as possible. The World Health Organization spokesperson Tariq Zarfik cited unspecified studies that pointed to a possible link, but said that this was not confirmed by sequential research. This lack of replicability really calls for caution and drawing casual conclusions. We know that vaccines do not cause autism. As I've said, save countless lives. So this is something that science has proven. These things should not be really questioned. Zarvik told a Geneva press briefing. Australian health officials were among the first to reject the claims, labeling them as misrepresentation of science. New Zealand's Ministry of Health reiterated that its guidelines have not changed, describing propofol as the safest medicine to take in pregnancy for treatment of pain or fever. UK's health regulator MHRA issued a similar statement, stressing that paracetamol, remains the recommended pain relief option for pregnant women. As directed, I would just say to people watching, don't pay attention whatsoever to what 47 says about medicine. The health secretary said, don't pay attention to what 47 says about medicine. Spain's health minister, Monica Garcia Gomez, also called out 47 by name, accusing him of ignoring all medical studies. Now, Autism not only destroys trusted science, but put lives at risk. Scott White, chair of the Royal Australia New Zealand College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, Women's Health Committee, says he's worried about the messaging from the United States. Paracetamol is safe. It's actually important to use because pain and fever are associated with reverse neurodevelopmental outcomes themselves, White told NBC News in a phone interview. Like I said, this is who y'all want. This is who y'all voted for. I mean, everybody else. Okay, we had one assignment, and now we got this for the next 4 years. Good on y'all. Said no one ever. GOP Senator Bill Cassidy breaks with 47 on linking town hall to autism. Not the case. I understand and applaud President 47's desire to address this issue and to support HHS, Health and Human Services. Cassidy, Republican from Louisiana, who leads the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, or the Health Committee, argued in a statement that the preponderance of evidence shows that there is no silent link between the pain reliever and a spike in autism diagnosis, while calling on the 47 administration to release evidence underpinning that conclusion. You got one of your own saying that you're full of shit. Okay? Shout out to rollout.com. Celebrating 25 years on to the next 25 there. FDA approves promising autism treatment amid major warnings. Like I said, this is a new treatment option. This represents a noble step for families seeking therapeutic options, as Levitt offers a different approach compared to existing behavioral educational interventions commonly used in autism care. The medication, while not widely known outside medical circles, has shown promise in clinical evaluations for addressing certain aspects of autism spectrum disorders. Healthcare providers familiar with courses properly suggested may help some individuals manage specific symptoms associated with the condition, though the extent of its effectiveness varies among patients. The approval of Levitt adds another tool to the therapeutic toolkit available to healthcare providers working together to develop comprehensive plans. So, just wanted to let you guys know about that. Please consult with your healthcare providers, okay? Please don't listen to a dumbass of a president who has a heart condition that his leg could be amputated. Ain't time. And also, too, don't listen to RFK Jr., whose family has disowned him. And Tylenol maker has pushed back, ladies and gentlemen. Here, this is from CBS News here. In a statement to CBS News, Kniev, the maker Tylenol said, independent sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise. The statement continues to highlight what the company says is the greater health risk for expectant mothers from other conditions if they give up. Sorry there. Okay, we got you. Thank you so much. Okay. Is the greater health highlight what the company says is the greater health risk for expectant mothers from other conditions if they give up taking the drug. Acetaminophen is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women, as did throughout their entire pregnancy. Without women face dangerous choices, suffer through conditions like fever that are potentially harmful to both mom and baby, or use riskier alternatives. The facts are that over a decade, rigorous research endorsed by leading medical professionals and global health regulators confirm there is no credible evidence linking acetaminophen to autism, the company said, adding it will continue to explore all options to protect the health interests of American women and children. So that's what I would have to say to all of that. Of course, Anonymous had a little just a little bit of what she had to say. Shout out to her.
Coming or going, hit the like button.
What's the problem?
My guest froze mid-recording, and now that's literally in the episode.
But that's the thing. Zoom is built for...
Today, we got to talk about 45 and 47. Doing a press conference today, y'all. Talking about women who are pregnant and women that need to avoid Tylenol, aka acetaminophen, citing unproven autism link. No, what? Health experts say no single source is likely to blame for autism. And doctors say Acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, is safe to use. What the welly, Ansay, what is happening? 45 and 47 urgently warned pregnant women to avoid taking Tylenol as he promoted an unproven link between the painkiller and a rise in autism among children. So here's the thing, y'all. Just a little history lesson. Autism was around well before the existence of Tylenol. So what is the explanation? Like, can we do research? Can we investigate? Autism was around well before Tylenol, decades before the existence of Tylenol. Like, what are we doing?
Like I said, 47 is the white male version of thirsty toxicity at this point.
Don't take Tylenol, quote and unquote, you guys. 45 and 47 said repeatedly during a September 22nd news conference alongside Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Fight like HELL not to take it. No. 45 and 47 said the Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA, will soon notify physicians about the use of acetaminophen. The active ingredient in Tylenol is associated with an increased risk of autism and that women should avoid the painkiller during pregnancy. He said women should also avoid giving Tylenol to their newborn babies. Kennedy also said the FDA's recommendation is based on clinical and laboratory studies. But where is the clinical and laboratory studies? Because a quick search, you guys, you can find any medical journal. You can find all types of statistics of like millions of children that were tested with Tylenol and dosages and did not find any types of links between Tylenol specifically and autism, y'all. Yet health agencies across the world and other medical experts have not found a definitive link between Tylenol and autism. Experts say multiple factors contribute to autism, and the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists both endorsed using acetaminophen during pregnancy this month. 45 and 47 said pregnant women who cannot tough it out. Here we go. If you're in too much pain without Tylenol, like you have to limit the intake. Are you aware of the number of Black pregnant women that have maternal fetal deaths because their quote unquote pain is not being taken seriously?
That part.
People are not acknowledging their pain, or they don't think that they're really experiencing the level of pain that they're telling the medical staff that they're experiencing. No. The audacity to tough it out and try it without Tylenol or otherwise limit it. Kennedy said HHS is encouraging physicians to exercise their best judgment by prescribing the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration. In addition, 45 and 47 said that the FDA announcement, it is essential. 47 would say fake news. Fake news. It is incorrect to imply that a handful of studies that have established causation, the strong-based evidence would show that acetaminophen, when taken as directed, is safe for use during pregnancy.
So I just want to play a little bit of what Anonymous T said, because honestly, it's ridiculous that we live in a country where a convicted felon can tell women what they should and should not do, even though his piece of shit administration made the decision to take away autonomy from women. All of y'all who vote for him, fuck you! Sincerely, you deserve hell, everything in between, and you deserve not to breathe mentally. I mean that shit. This dumb fuck can have a career. I'm doing it for the shorts. This dumb fuck can have a career, but yet everybody else who's trying to come up ahead who's trying to come up and be somebody? Y'all gotta move the goalposts. Okay. All right, let's roll on. Let's finish this out. Right here, Jimmy Kimmel's return. Talks with Disney brands went down to the wire Monday. Jimmy will say what Jimmy wants to say. Exclusive Tuesday's return, which is tonight, 11:35, 10:35 Central, only on ABC. And by the way, Jimmy Kimmel's in the middle of his taping right now, 4 p.m. Pacific, which will be 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday's return of Jimmy Kimmel to late night TV was the result of days of meetings and negotiations with top Disney executives that only came to resolution Monday morning. There was always a desire to do the best thing for the company. And Insider told Deadline of the direct talks and thoughtful conversations between Disney CEO Bob Iger, Disney Entertainment Chief David Walding, and Kimmel and his team. To that, the final sign-off for Kimmel's return to his long-running Jim Kimmel Live was made this morning by Iger and Walding after a last-minute flurry of paperwork, texts, and calls with Team Jimmy, I'm told. So, right here, as you guys know the deal here, Jimmy will say what Jimmy wants to say, a source regarding what restrictions, if any, were placed on past Oscar hosts as a condition of his return. Reps for Kimmel and for Disney beyond the statement the company brought out earlier announcing the host's return has nothing more to say about what was and was not agreed to. That assured, outspoken, very talented and funny, according to X. Disney CEO Michael Eisner, Kimmel could resume his show. Live will resume Tuesday with a full audience in its Hollywood Boulevard studio. Guests and all the bells and whistles. Whose guests will be is in flux with some of the people who are supposed to be on last week of the mix. It does appear that frequent Kimmel foil Matt Dillon will not be on the ABC late night or Tuesday, as at least right now. So there is that, everybody. Y'all, that's the show. I'm gonna read this daily motivator, and then we're gonna head on out of here. Child, so much to talk about, and I'm gonna bring up the daily motivator. I'm gonna wrap all this up in the daily, because believe me, 8 destinations is not easy, but I definitely want this to be clipped because this was a great show. Shout out to the 2 people that are here now. Here we go. The daily motivator. You must learn from the mistakes of others. You can't possibly live long enough to make all yourself. Sam Levinson. It's time for the daily motivator for Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Treasure that is now. Make yourself worthy of the treasure that is now. Wrap yourself around the best of what's possible and give it life. Tomorrow is much too late to live. Today, experience is yours when you engage in it, not when you put it off. Moving forward is sure at some points to bring pain, inconvenience, frustration, disappointment. Move forward anyway. Make it worth whatever it costs. This is when you can do what you've been meaning to do. Understand the power of that opportunity. Firmly take hold of it. Let go of the frivolous need to look good. Throw yourself into the business of being good and doing what brings goodness and value. You're situated firmly in the middle of an opportunity that you can only get now. Make of it everything you can. Make it of everything you know you can. Ralph Wilson. You know, I think with tonight's show, we have talked about a lot. First of all, if you don't treasure yourself, why should anybody else treasure you? We talked about that with Carisha Lee, who wrote a letter for Diddy saying, Judge, that's a good man, even though Diddy did everything that he did. If you will write a letter to defend somebody that has caused pain to us, that could cause pain to your own family, you're a piece of shit to me. And with Diddy asking for a 14-month sentence, no, sir, you deserve fucking 20 years, and I hope you get it. That's the first thing I would say about this daily motivator right here. The second thing to say is understand the power of that opportunity. Firmly take hold of it. We talked about that with, Epic Universe, P&G, and Camp Yoshi, right? The fact that there's a Black-owned business getting Black people to go camping, to expand themselves, and to recognize that we are a part of the world is a wonderful thing. P&G sponsoring all those HBCU classics, and UAPB beat Alcorn State's ass. Number love to Alcorn State University. And with Epic Universe, it is sad what happened, but that does not mean that what was created was not for the good, right? And like the third and final point here, with this daily motivator here, you are situated firmly in the middle of an opportunity that you will only get now. when it comes to how much the industry, the media industry, is spending in content, and with autism and with Jimmy Kimmel, if we don't stand up for something, hell will win. If we don't stand up for something, hell will win. If we don't stand up for something, hell will win. And what I've come to recognize is the ones that allow hell are the ones that allow hell are the ones that are the most broken. The ones that allow hell are the ones that are the most broken. And with that being said, is the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you were always born a blessing. And trust, you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why is one thing to call yourself? It's nothing. Be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I spend time with you. You spend time with me. Hopefully, by spending time together, we'll be great together. And always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, YouTube. Live your best life. Or, in the words of our auntie, the mother of Hollywood, Jennifer Lewis, we're sick of this shit, but we're not going to let it make us sick. Always remember, receive love, you got to give it, receive love, you got to give it, receive love, you got to give it. Wherever obstacles you've overcome, wherever successes you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. And finally tonight, y'all, when Jimmy Kimmel goes on, he's almost done taping his show. Whatever is going to air is going to air. Y'all, if we had to fight that hard for free speech, we need to fight that hard for everything fucking else that matters. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's come, for the blessings that are on the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as a people, as a culture. I feel the love and send it right back to you. Good night, everybody. I love you all. But good night.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Good morning, TikTok. Can I have your attention, please? Girl, are you ticking? Are you talking? Because knowledge is knocking. Then I want to talk to you real quick about ignoring a bitch. Oh, there's power in turning the other cheek. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One thing about people that like to throw shade, you don't fight shade with shade. The only thing that overrides and destroys the shade is the sunlight. See, your light got to be so bright that you keep that bitch where they belong, in the shadows, the dark. The bitch is invisible, and we don't see you, girl. See, you don't go back and forth with a person that's hating on you, because when you do that, you become just like them, a weak bitch. So the next time they mention your name in a status, or your name come up in a conversation, don't respond because you're too high to look that low. We can't go back and forth with people that we can't reach and that's not on our level. We not sitting at the same table eating the same meals.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Child Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.